himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
going down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it. Medeiros is going to
toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's touched on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sim Racing for Simpleton Super Formula Championship. We take another step in our journey around the globe and we take to the second half of the season and we head to the heart of British motorsport. We're live here from Silverstone. My name is Zach Sweeney. I've got Dean Biggles alongside me in the commentary booth to talk you through all of the racing action, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what is in store for us. Of course, coming into today, we've had a bit of an update and a bit of an upset in terms of the championship standings for some. That intermediate championship is all over the place in terms of that fight between Seth MacFarlane, Anthony Wilborn, and Petter Wedding in their pursuit for intermediate glory. There you can see the overall standings. You've got Carson Keane running away with things out in front. So far so good in terms of race wins. Robert Ridgway and Dan Whitfield 2 and 3, separated by not so much, only 7 points between them. Christian Jasper on some very good run of form, only on 77, with James Cunningham rounding off the top 5. Then you can see we've got Seth MacFarlane and Anthony Wilborn in that fight for the intermediate championship. They're only separated by 1 point apiece, just ahead of Samuel Marr. Petter Wedding and Andy Yeager as well, still in touch for that intermediate championship. Then comes Andy Cody, Brian Long, Anthony Sykes, Alex Rivera and Dalton Hall, I should say. Let's round off the top 15 drivers in the championship. Then comes Shane Larson, Guy Kiao, Mike Veer, Ruben Scott to round off the last of those that have been able to score points in this championship so far. Biggles, welcome in. Of course, we're now into the second half of the season. Should be a lot of fun here in Silverstone.
Yeah, well, it is. It's the birthplace of motorsports, essentially, isn't it? Almost anywhere in the world as we're going, finishing over our practice session and into our lone qualifying 10-minute sprint shootout, really, for that qualifying. So back to, as I was mentioning in the green room, the Mutton Grand Prix, wasn't it? A bunch of blokes got together and said, hey, let's just go around this farm, essentially, back in the day there, and ran over a mutton, and then they called it the Mutton Grand Prix for our own little chicks and giggles per se. Now it's turned into a classic motorsport racing track, and Silverstone, I think a lot of drivers know, so you probably would expect less mistakes, wouldn't you, Zach?
In theory, yes, but by no means is Silverstone an easy circuit. It is demanding, very high speed, and should be a lot of fun for these guys in their Super Formula racing machines. Of course, high downforce machines that, you know, are very, very fast. That push to pass element as well. They've got a lot of power, a lot of downforce, and with a lot of high, fast corners here at Silverstone, we should be having a very fun time indeed. We've got 10 minutes of qualifying now, of course, coming into the session that sets the grid order for our 45-minute race here at Silverstone. Straight line speed is going to be a pivotal point of this race, Biggles, which means track position might not be as important. Hopefully we are going to see a ton of overtakes over the course of today.
Yeah, where do you think those best overtaking opportunities will be as we watch some of these drivers do this qualifying session? We'll get those graphics up in a second.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much everywhere is an overtaking opportunity if you're brave enough.
No.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it all comes down to circumstance, and you know, some corners are better than others. I mean, you've got turn 3 into Village is always a good one. Turn 4 going into the loop. If you can stick your nose down the inside, definitely a worthy place to go for a move. Then you've got the Wellington Straight that lead you into Brooklands. It's effectively what Formula machines are, is a jet or a plane flipped on its head, because it's the same principles of lift and downforce. They're just the opposites of each other, direct opposites. So James Cunningham, of course, is basically on the complete flip side of what he's used to, but my goodness me, does he do it well. As it stands, a 37.6, which is half a second quicker than the rest of the pack, which is so far so good for the American driver.
Daniel gets in there to P2, still plenty of other drivers. What about Carson Keane? I'm going to keep an eye on him. Alex Rivera, you can see setting a purple sector 2. They're divided up into 5 sectors, if I'm not mistaken. You can see those little dots on the track map. I'm just rather than the 3 in Formula 1. We keep an eye there on Carson Keane. Where is he at the moment? You can see, so he's about to go through the old classic Mackets and Chapel. Then activate the DRS that won't be activated, of course. Down the hangar straight. So, and just have a look at Alex Rivera first at the moment, because, well, it's just up the road, actually. Sorry, he's almost in the same location. Just remember, it's lone qualifying out there. Welcome, everybody, of course, that's tuning in here on the JP Broadcasting Network to watch the SR4S Round 5, Season 3. Alex Rivera, he's looking pretty quick, isn't he? That's another purple sector. He got 3 of those. He's bagged them. He should be heading to Las Vegas, my friend. You may be in for a jackpot. Your jackpot will be currently the fastest time, and it will be 36.7. 2/10 quicker.
Nice little lap time from Alex Rivera. Very quick driver in this car, making that very good adaptation from the Formula 3s to the Super Formula. But Carson Keane is a man who is very good, let's put it that way, in these Super Formula machines. He has been on fire since round 1, winning races non-stop since. And, well, no, I don't see any reason why that is going to change here today either. Let's see, obviously, what the dynamic of the race has in store for us, because that push to pass is going to take a big hold. I mean, Silverstone is a thirsty circuit, and you only get 100 seconds of use over the course, or 200 seconds of use over the course of the race.
You're right. I'm not sure if I lost you there again. If I had to have a little communication. Are you still there, Jack? Yeah, sorry. I didn't know. Alex is still going quicker. Let's ride on board with him. Now, give me the hint there. Well, I mean, just take us through a hot lap around here. Through the speed, the sensation, through this, one of the classic tricks. I mean, many Formula 1 circuits these days, haven't they? Tried to mimic that, but you just cannot go back to the historical past of that classic race S's.
Very much not. Alex Rivera I'll start it when we get to the timeline, just to keep it nice and clean. Also depends if he's going for a consecutive flying run. Let's see. He's slowing down. Let's
big drop off.
Probably just trying to set himself up for his next flyer. Carson Keane at the moment in second, down Whitfield, James Cunningham the first 2 rows. Here we go then, Alex Rivera to take us on board. Keane does go quicker, 2/10 quicker than Alex Rivera. Into turn number 1 though, completely flat out I think in these Super Formula machines. Then you go to 2. It's all about keeping your foot planted, bringing it back to the left, braking pretty much as soon as that curb on the left hand side starts, trail braking through in 3rd gear, keep it to the right, brake as soon as the car's in a straight line. Very much feathering the throttle on the exit of the loop. Try to build up speed through entry. If you can get flat out by the time you get there, then perfect. The Wellington Straight, it's long, it's a good overtaking opportunity into Brooklands. It's fast. Just before the 50, you slam on the brakes. You take a nice late apex coming in to set yourself up lovely for Luffield. So many different lines you can take. You can see Alex Rivera going in deep, cutting back, really veering off the corner, double apexing it to carry speed in and then carry speed out. Woodcut, not really a corner. It's all about minimizing the distance that you run on this old pit straight towards Cop Corner. A little bit of a lift, maybe even a downshift to just keep the car in check, but keeps it in 6th gear does Alex Rivera, and he's going to have to stay there all the way through this sequence. Maggots, and then through the right, then Beckett. Is he going to downshift just to get that rotation, then again for the next right, and then he runs his way into Chapel. It's all about building speed, mind the track limits on the left, and then put your foot down, use all the power that you've got available to you on this hangar straight run. Slightly uphill inclination towards Stowe Corner. Again, pretty much braking just as that curb starts. Down to 5th gear, just carrying so much speed through these corners, using the high downforce nature of these single-seaters. Once again, braking as the curb starts. 2nd gear, the first apex of 1 into the right of the second part of Vale. Then it's building the power, being confident on that run to the line, and this should, in theory, be a very nice lap time indeed. There's provisional pole position for Alex Rivera. I don't quite think he's got enough time to go for another lap, so he's going to have to hope that it's good enough.
That was brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Zach. I felt like we are riding on board. I love for riding on board as if I'd love to be as quick as a driver like him in the Super Formulas. He nailed that one perfectly, and that's close, isn't it? 77,000 a second between himself and Carson Keane. And Daniel. Robert just sneaks up there. I was just about to say, for all the Daniel supporters out there, thank you very much. We got Daniel's... what is it? Mary out there, Lucy. Oh, everybody's out there supporting Dan the man, that I call him. We all call him. He's out there on track at the moment there. Cameras always switch away. And Dan's sporting a new livery out there. So I'm wondering if the Whitfields could let us know as to what Dan has switched it all over. I'm liking the pink and yellow. It's very nice. I wonder what he's supporting that one for. Daniel's last chance. It doesn't look like he's improving. Anthony may be a little bit behind. So there you go, Daniel. We're looking at that livery. We'll find out what has what is it? Inspired him to change that one. Of course, we had to go back to the Racing for Simpletons livery there that Anthony is currently supporting. The two drivers left on the lone qualifying to put a lap time in. Maybe Anthony can improve. Daniel did improve a tiny little bit in the fourth sector. So we'll see Daniel go across first. Nope, not enough time. He let... Oh, Shayla, apparently. Shayla's... So it's your design there, Shayla. That's excellent.
Taste.
Yeah, excellent. Right, we have
both in men and liveries, I suppose, for Shayla Whitfield. There you go. Here is the grid for 45 minutes of racing. It's Alex Rivera and Carson Keane that share the front row. Brian Long in third place. Wow. What a lap time. Brian Long. Let's see how long that lasts. Robert Ridgway rounds off the second row with Dan Whitfield rounding off the top 5. He's joined by James Cunningham on row 3. Anthony Zyke and Seth MacFarlane row 4 ahead of Andy Yeager and Anthony Wilburn the top 10. Christian Jasper in P11 with Samuel Maher the top 12 in behind. Only a couple more drivers beyond that. We've got the likes of Petter Vedding, Andy Cody and Dalton Hall, the 15 drivers that will take to the grid for round number 5 of the Sim Racing for Simpletons Super Formula Championship. Season 3 of this amazing community. Of course, we had the first 2 in the Formula 3s. Now we're going to Season 3 in the Super Formulas. 45 minutes. It's straight action. No pit stops needed at all. We've got Alex Rivera and Carson Keane sharing the front row. Biggles, we are in for an absolute belter.
And we're here, as I said, Silverstone. It's the track that Alex Rivera loves dearly, no doubt, proving it. And of course, even Zachary's going to throw out some of those puns, isn't he? Like, how long can Brian Long last in P3? Wow, you know he's the boss man, right? You want to keep your job working as a commentator for this?
He won't get worried. He's fine. He loves it, really.
Oh, the cheeky puns coming out of the young caster of the year. I think there was caster of the year, but yeah, great. You should be caster of the year, my friend. Busy days that you've been having, Zach, that you've said as well too, haven't you? You're in your long days of work, 8 hours work, and then you're casting straight after you go home. But you know what? You got more to do. Let's go racing.
Yeah. The work never stops. Rivera, Keane, they're going to be in for a world of pain and hopefully a lot of battles as we're underway here in Silverstone. A really good start from a number of people in the background, but there you can see Carson Keane initially taking a very dominant lead early on. Alex Rivera from pole is already spun round through turn number 1. He got a very poor start off the line and is now at the back of the field. That's going to be a fight back all the way through this race. Is very much underway, and it's Brian Long that picks his way up into second. He didn't last long in P3 because he's up now into second. Keane leads from Long, Whitfield, Cunningham and Wilburn the top 5 as Alex Rivera, a huge upset. He's got a race-long battle back to the front.
Yes, it was actually, we'll promote Daniel up at everybody a lot. That's, I don't know what hell, we have to get back into replays, have a look at that. That's difficult. There's a little bit of a lock up here as well. They're all going for 2 for now, trying to make those positions gained early. But remember, 41 minutes of racing, pit stops and everything still to go. So, I don't know. You can't tell the driver to not go for it as well. Samuel Maher's going to try to go for it for the McElwain driver. And he's on the back there, Robert Ridgway. And both of these drivers have gained. Well, Samuel's gained 4 positions as well, too. So, fantastic drive.
Oh, way too much lock for Samuel Maher there. You might be thinking, well, if you're understeering, turn the car more. It's actually going to have the opposite effect, and it's exactly what happened to Samuel Maher. The more you crank on the steering, the more you load the front tyres and the more work you put them through, which therefore just exaggerates your problem of understeer. It's happened again through Maggots, Beckett's and Chappell and puts the Macau driver under pressure from Anthony Zyke. There you can see Anthony Wilburn trying to pick his way past Seth MacFarlane, or well, stay ahead of Seth MacFarlane, I should say, who does look to go to the outside of the 16 machine, but the American driver is able to stay ahead for now. Everyone's settling into their own respective trains, which I think are here to stay, Biggles. It's very much a slipstream dominated circuit. And, well, if you lose it, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, of course, if you lose it, you're in big trouble. Carson Keane hasn't, and he's got a nice little gap at the moment. In fact, all those drivers in the top 5 have a gap. You have to go all the way back to Seth, Robert, Anthony, and Samuel is where the action-packed zones are. We'll keep our eyes squarely peeled on that one. So, Daniel, well, I guess that from Shayla that you have that pink livery is working for him. Wow, who got really slow out of that exit there? Was that Samuel? I can't quite see. on the very inside there. Some action always occurring here at the moment. But we'll go up. The battle that is occurring and brewing here at the moment. Seth on the back there of Anthony.
Who's obviously vying for that intermediate championship that he has fought so hard for. He's in a very, very dedicated fight with Petter Vedding, who, as it stands, Wilburn will be taking a ton of points out of. So let's see what he can do going forward. He's a very strong driver and has been sort of tipped to be in the pros for next season and going forward. Robert Ridgway under pressure from Seth MacFarlane going into Maggots and Beckett's. It's a lovely move from the 117 as he finds himself ahead and into 6th place. McFarland falling back a little bit after what was initially a very, very good start. He's still up a place from where he started ahead of Zyke, so definitely still a net gain and plenty of time left in this race for him to recover. Carson Keane, though, not able quite to get rid of Brian Long, who's just about staying within half a second of the Canadian. Let's see who's using more of their push to pass, though. That is going to be the huge talking point, because you've got to use it sparingly. Of course, it's a tool to attack and defend, Biggles, but you only get a limited amount of use.
Yeah, what you do. And Brian's actually started to catch Carson King, so this is actually going to be great. We've got lots of little battles brewing at the moment. We're looking at the moment with Anthony Zink and Crispin Casper as well, too. He's getting a he's getting a job there on Andy. Look at that. And that's actually backing everybody up. So Alexander's fighting his way back through the field, as expected, after losing such a great job during the qualifying performance. He's just got past Andy. He's got Samuel Marr next up on his list there, but further up in the field there, we have to keep an eye on Robert. Is going to be looking to make a move here on Anthony.
Oh, lovely move, Robert Ridgway, if he's able to keep that one. He had the agility around the outside into Luffield, and he picks his way into 5th. Nicely done. Wilburn, though, is not going to give this one up at all. He's now to the outside of Woodcote. It will eventually be the outside of Cop's corner. Has he got the speed? You can see the flash he's using his push to pass. He's gotten ahead into the corner and takes the track and takes the apex and takes the position from Ridgway. Seth MacFarland in the mix. So remember, Wilburn and MacFarland are the 2 leaders in that AM Championship and are only separated by a point. So it's high stakes for these guys. Whoever leads the other one in this race comes out with the intermediate championship lead going into the final 3 rounds. So pressure's on for those two, considering that they can very much see each other and in theory should be fighting a lot on track, and he does. Oh.
Yeah, this is going to compromise him big time at the moment. Seth is going to be sizing him up. We'll go on board with Seth, actually. We'll have a look at how it is from his perspective. To see the 2 drivers up the road there battling. Seth's going to try to take the opportunity. Carson Kid's gone a little bit quicker there, 1.4 second gap. But they're going for a 2 for now. Let's ride on board with Seth and let's how it feels to be seeing a battle up the road here in Silverstone through Cops.
Let's see. Into turn number 3, of course, it is going to be the inside line that prevails. Seth MacFarland would love to get involved. Wilburn's wide. MacFarland sees the gap. There's contact!
Oh!
And a huge bit of netcode. MacFarland is up on his, nearly onto his roll hoop. He's been out of front wing and arguably maybe out of contention in this race. There was a different postcode worth of space between the two of them.
Here comes Alex too.
Physics.
Fighting back through the field, you see. You never, ever, ever give up. You never, ever. Look at that. He's going to have to go into the corner 3 abreast. Oh, because of the damage wing, and obviously, luckily, gets out of the way. If you want excitement and you want entertainment, welcome to Silverstone. It's certainly producing already, and we have 38 minutes to go. I'll get that time up in a second. We're on lap 4. Brilliant, brilliant racing for some of the drivers, and a little bit devastating and crushing for the others, but that's what you call a motor race, as Mikey would say in previous seasons. We have a caution. We have a full caution.
Safety cars, of course, now are a thing in this championship, and it's been deemed to throw one, which neutralizes the race and gives those that have had issues a chance to get themselves back into it. Keane, obviously, stays out. He doesn't really have anything to go and repair, apart from maybe that gap that he got at the front after this safety car period is over. A new dynamic, of course, for Season 3, but a very justified one in this case.
And we don't see it very often, but it is what it is.
Once, I think.
Yeah.
Lap 1 of Motegi, and we haven't seen it since, I don't think.
So it gives us a chance to actually take a breather. I mean, I really do like these sometimes from a production aspect out here, because it gives me a second to actually think about. Look at that. Kasuki's had to slow big time down here. He's actually got the call up to there, allow the pace truck. What the hell's a truck doing? Wow, that is huge.
Here?
I know.
One of them could drive under that.
Exactly. That's not really safe. You're going to have to talk to the administration powers that be here. So it'll bunch everybody back up, which means we're going to have more crunching entertainment. You got to think about it. Carson putting those banker laps down there. This neglects everything, doesn't it? But you never know, do you, if you're a driver? You're not going, oh, well, I expect that there's going to be a safety car coming out soon, so I shouldn't put all those banker laps in. No, drivers go fast. Give us an idea. Find out what happened at the very start of the race.
Well, Alex Rivera just got a ton of wheel spin. A really poor start. Got jumped by 2, and then cold tyres. You can see Whitfield fighting just behind, but cold tyres and asked too much of the car and carried too much speed through, and was still trying, I think, to plant the throttle down going in. Obviously, cold tyres, too much load, and unfortunately the car had spun round. Thankfully for him, though, Alex Rivera up to P9 already after falling to 15th. With this caution, he is going to be able to find his way up a couple more places, but that initial start, absolutely appalling. Missed his apex, and in a bit, mate.
Yeah, it's horrible that you do happen to experience that, but this is why you need to practice your race starts. Let's have a look on board. There it is, isn't it? Listen to it.
Struggled to build up the revs, had to drop it, builds up the gears, and then lifts off, but then the car just has none of it. And at that point in a Formula car, you've got no means of control. The car will go round, and for Alex Rivera, that's exactly what happened. He, as I say, he's fought back to 9th, and he's got all of the drivers lined up to take. That's what happened between Wilburn and McFarlane, the 2 championship rivals of the intermediate, let's not forget. But it was neither of their faults. Unfortunate bit of netcode going on here.
I have to rewind it. I really don't like to rewind, but unfortunately, it's not giving us an incident to look back on a specific point. So what we'll do while we're on a caution, of course, is that we will go back and have a look at this one. Zach, and you can probably explain at a half speed.
Wilburn was fighting, you can see that car on the right. He went to the outside, which opens up that inside line. McFarlane says, yeah, all right, cheers. Goes for it, and you can clearly see there was no contact. Wilburn then went up on his side, lost his front wing. Wilburn, I think, luckily managed to get away with it in terms of damage. McFarlane, obviously up on his side, lost his front wing. But yeah, I can see why iRacing sort of predicted contact, which is how netcode works and happens. Is iRacing sort of sees the 2 cars and makes a prediction. And obviously with high ping and stuff, then, differences in ping, then sometimes that can happen where it says there's contact, but there isn't. But unfortunately, that is the case. Safety car lights are still on, so we still have another lap under caution.
But well, I'm interested about that real quick, because from coming, from doing a lot of oval racing of recent now, that oval tracks, of course, and, NASCAR-esque kind of stuff, and IndyCar, of course, back when we could do IndyCar. Hopefully we can again soon, because they've just cancelled that whole deal with the other company they're going to use. But however, like you're talking about, Seth goes in, he's taking advantage of this pit stop under the pace car. Oh, that's right. But yeah, going back to that, they are so close, right? They're like, talking about fractions of seconds side by side, front drafting, side drafting, and all that sort of stuff that's happening with those cars. As soon as you get into a road track like this, or open wheel cars, there's the front wing going on. Very efficient mechanics there if he's fast repair. But how come the netcode does occur in oval racing, but they're so close? How come? I just don't understand. Like when you do see it sometimes in these road courses, stuff like that, and open wheels, it should be a lot less.
It's everywhere.
Because it's not very often, but than it is in oval racing. Oval racing, as I said, they're millimeters apart all the time. Not just like now when we see them very, very close side by side in this racing, because they're never that close. You're not centimeters apart generally all the time here in road courses, but in oval racing they are. So should netcode always be more dominant, let's say, in those leagues than they are in these? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can really blame it always on netcode kind of thing. It's difficult to say.
Well, no, it was netcode, because you could see the difference in the 2 cars, and they made contact, but they didn't make contact to our eyes. And you do see it a lot in oval racing. It's just usually the pings are a lot closer and the connection's better, and whatever the reason is, you see it everywhere in iRacing. It is a big problem with iRacing, but it happens, unfortunately. There's no way you can pin the blame. Robert Ridgway had no part in this whatsoever, but just looking back, because he opened the gap up for McFarlane to go through, and now we'll see if we can. The lack of contact that there was, you can see that there was no way that was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
And then a very, very nice freeze frame of the incident in of itself. But yeah, just a shame, really. Nothing else that can be said.
Overall, yeah, but it's unfortunate. So Seth and Ant down here at the moment. He gets a chance, but this is also a granted thing under this caution, is that all the drivers get a chance to catch all the way back up. Now, the track map, for some reason, is crazily not working, so I can't. I do apologise for that. I talked to James about it. It works for sometimes, and it doesn't work for others. Those gremlins do creep in here. However, we do have Carson, we have Brian. Well, how's that for Brian, right? Keeping in there at the moment. So the boss man himself, don't you pick on him, Zachary. Doing a fantastic job in P2. And of course, well, Daniel's sporting his livery from his lovely, is it girlfriend or wife? I keep forgetting, or fiance?
His wife.
His wife, yeah. Has picked that lovely livery. Come on, Dan, man, give us a wave. And of course, James has also, because James was doing quite well in practice sessions and qualifying as well, and has been performing very well this season. I don't know, man. Any picks for a race winner at this point, considering
Carson Keane? Sorry, that's the cop-out answer.
What about Alex? You don't think Alex can fight his way back up, considering how quick he is around this track? We know he's super fast.
One more caution.
Yeah.
One more caution, and maybe. If he gets this one and gets a few laps, then there's another caution, then absolutely I can see him still winning. But Keane is just so good. And yeah, Model East Kiko saying overall racing lines are a lot more predictable than road racing, and it's optimized for overall racing because iRacing has a very heavy focus on that sort of thing. So at least there's that. But anyway, the safety car is peeled in. We're about to get ourselves back underway. Keane, Long, Whitfield and Cunningham, the top four. We're back to green flag racing here in Silverstone, and a very good initial launch for Carson Keane. He's able to get himself back going again, already with a couple of car lengths over the rest of the field. Through turn number one, the tyres are cold once more, and we're back to racing action. Down Whitfield, is he all over the rear end of Long going into turn three? Not quite close enough. Let's track, of course, Alex Rivera's progress as he is on a very big fight back coming through the field. He's side by side with Christian Jasper trying to find his way into 8th, but he's got a long way to go if he wants to find himself back into contention.
Yeah, here he is back here at the moment, so they're taking a little bit easy. I mean, I think Alex is going to be taking it very easy after considering cold tyres, isn't he, on the state of that one, but he's going for it, and I don't know how much of a fight you're going to put up on that one. As Christian does lowering through that. Look at that, Alex slicing through his field. So he definitely could be the comeback kid here. And I'm sure he's not a kid, but I'm just saying that. That's just a saying that you always say, isn't it? But there it is. So Carson leading the race there from Brian and from Daniel, who put the early charge on there. You got James, Robert Ridgway, and you got that grid up there on your left-hand side. That's your racing timing tower, and it's go, go, go. And it's good to see everybody back here. Even Anthony at the back here is going to mount it on the charge. But we will go over to... well, Anthony here, who is Andy, sorry, on Anthony. That's the A's in there, 5th and 6th, Zach.
Yeah, everyone fighting away really nicely. Let's see what Jaeger can do into Stowe corners. Like, goes defensive, but that outside line definitely can prevail. You can see he's later on the brakes and uses that wide arc to keep his foot down. Has now the inside line. Zyke, I think, gave him way too much space on that outside line to use. Gives the 13 machine the inside for Vale. Alex Rivera now is getting himself involved. He tries to go for the up and under, and you can see there's a bit of space, but he backs out of it going into club. We start another lap here with just under half an hour left of racing action. And Alex Rivera is going to be fighting his way through. You can tell he's planning his overtake. He's thinking, okay, not into turn 3, maybe into turn 3. Actually, he might be thinking about
undercut
it,
here,
or even turn 4.
There it is.
He's getting the up and under. There it is. Alex Rivera, you have to plan your overtakes methodically like that, seeing where you're going to go for the move and sticking to that plan, committing to it. And now he's already up into 7th place, and now he's targeting the next.
Yeah, and Anthony's going to take advantage of that. You can just see a little bit of a mistake, isn't it? That's done. I mean, Christian, sorry. It's Anthony made a little bit of a mistake. My apologies. Getting all over the place on a lot of these names. Should know these names by now, but sorry. I'm also pushing buttons in the background. It gets a little confusing with a lot of work to do here. I'm not as good as James doing it. And not this James that's on the back there of Daniel. But Brian's been keeping Carson keen and sharp. And it's been, once again, long time since Brian's been up here battling for P1 and P2. There it is, Brian. But he is definitely going for it here. Look at this.
He's got a nosebleed. He's up so high. Brian Long, he's getting altitude sickness. He's feeling a little bit dazy. What's he doing up in second place? This man. Right, who's on Brian Long's sim rig? What's he doing?
Oh, wow.
Have we got a Daniel App situation? Maybe.
Don't hit that, Brian. You're
That's
going to be...
No, it's Brian. It's Brian driving. He's just smacked that. So it's Brian. He's going to watch this back, and we're going to get a nasty message saying, JPB, we are never hiring you again. No, we'll probably be all right. We'll probably be back for next week. Don't you worry, guys. But Brian Long, he's Brian Long is driving really nicely with Keane, and Alex Rivera also driving very nicely on his fight back to the front.
And it looks like we might have a driver have gone in there, Dalton Hall. So we'll keep an eye on that if anybody's had a... Nobody's done it. He's just gone for his pit stop, so that's the schedule. Didn't see any off-track incidents or anything like that. Alex Rivera is now going to... You said this before, Zach. You said this now. Master tactician when it comes to overtakes. What do you think he's timing it up here? Lining it up. Lining timing?
Probably Stowe, in fairness. Maybe Cops if he can get the run. It's difficult because obviously at this point of the circuit you're waiting for a chance. There's nowhere to get it done. It probably will be the Hangar Straight. It's the only place that he can do it. And yeah, we are cheering on Brian Long. We're being cruel to be kind in that aspect. We are cheering him on secretly. We do love him really, and we give him this stick because we know how good he can be. And today he is showing it. Alex Rivera all over the rear end of Andy Yeager. And yeah, he's going to set up a good exit. You can see here he let Yeager go in deep. He's now going to have a good drive. Is even going to need to use his overtake. I don't even think so. The slipstream might be enough. It's going to be tough. He's closing the gap. The closer he gets, the more powerful the slipstream gets to the outside of Stowe. Oh, beautiful.
On the outside. He sails. Wow. And that is the reason why the man put it on pole.
Yeah, he's just quick, and he knows how to get a move done as well. He's a perfect combination of man and machine. Unfortunately, some mistakes have let him down, and that's where Keane has been able to get the measure of him on a number of races.
We lost somebody here at the moment. No, Anthony's gone into pit road. Yeah, we're 25 minutes remaining in this, so getting those pit stops done and dusted when you need to get it done. Still another battle brewing here at the moment there of Christian, and he's on the tailpipe there of Anthony. So if they don't get something to move on, you can see Samuel Mara in the background. We've seen Samuel Mara's pace in the past as well too. So some of the drivers prefer some of the tracks, some of them do not prefer it. Some of them, some drivers prefer them. Alex Rivera, we know, loves this track, as well as Carson Keane. You have to give it for Brian. Brian really loves this track. I mean, I don't know if Brian's had the time to be practicing because he's running this fantastic league as well, doing everything in the background, but maybe secretly he is a bit of a Silverstone. You know, some of those circuits, as I said, Zachary, you know, drivers love. They just know it, like the back of their hand. They look at it and go, oh, I know which corner. I even know what gear to do. I can do it in my sleep. Or like Sebastian Vettel used to do. Close your eyes before a race and imagine every corner in your head. Yeah,
so you talk yourself through the track. I wouldn't advise closing your eyes while you're driving. That's probably not a great idea. Yeah, before. There's a scene in Rush where James Hunt, Chris Hemsworth, does it. He's sat on the floor and he's talking his way through Monte Carlo, and yeah, it's a good visualization technique.
Threw up, or after he threw up before every race, because that's what he used to do as well. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he did do that quite a lot. Rush is a brilliant film, and Chris Hemsworth was a very good embodiment of Hunt. To be fair, so too was the person who played Niki Lauda as well. Also plays Zemo, I think, in the MCU as well. Both.
Oh, he's a great actor. I can't remember his name exactly. Yes, a German actor, I think, as well too. But Jasper is on. Did I get it right this time? I'm still trying to get that.
Jasper. Yes. Literally, just say it. Just phonetically say it. Christian Jasper.
Crispin Jasper. Sorry, I keep saying because of the Spanish that I'm living in this language, in this country. Anyway, we are still. What's happened to Brian? He's backed off a little bit here. Now, any indication? James is still on the back there of Daniel. sporting that new lovely livery.
Looking pink as ever.
Hey, pink is the new red, right? As they say.
Is it?
Yeah, of course. Is Daniel sporting it? It is. Daniel up 2 positions. Not as those drivers, you can see those positions gained and lost. Pit stops are going to come into play soon. God, I'm going to start talking British soon. Soon. Oops. So yeah, not that soon. Putting 2 of those up there. Oh dear. Carson Keane is going a little quicker here this evening in Silverstone there, my dear friend Zachary. Oh, don't make me do this. But further back there's action and right on it. Is that another front wing lost for Seth?
No, that is that is a something. That is a break in the Newtonian laws of everything, literally ever. Petter Vedding had a rear wing, he didn't have a rear wing, and then magically his rear wing decided to magic back onto him. Vedding goes very late to the left. Cody just about is able to give him some space. There's a small bit of contact. McFarlane runs into the back of him, and then magically their body parts come back to them. Yeah. That's a huge shame, though, for Cody, because he gave the space, and unfortunately for Vedding, it was a bit too irrational of a move to go for. Could have worked, but unfortunately a poor bit of execution. And the Norwegian is in 11th place. Back to this fight, we've got Zyke, Jasper and Mar battling over 8th place.
I wonder if Mar's going to pull in on this battles, because usually those battles bring other battles, doesn't it? It brings another element to the play there, because they eventually, while it feels that they're getting fast, they're not. They're actually slowing down, because look at this. Samuel Mars starting to creep up on them. As soon as he gets into that drift, he's going to be, feeling like a bit of a rush, isn't he? In his backgrounds, we're talking about that film in the background, and I'm sure it's even going to inspire somebody at the moment, isn't it, to go, like, I want to see that Rush film again, which I probably will come and think of it now, Zach, but not right now, and not a little later, as Carson King goes even quicker again. Trying to just say, Brian, all right, come on, Brian. You're not usually up hanging around the big boy club up here in P1 and P2, so he's just giving a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a teaser, and perhaps Brian's going to act on that one and say, don't you worry about Carson King, I've got some aces up my sleeve here. We're not in Las Vegas, but I can lay the cards down anytime I need. What's happened too? Somebody's gone off track, because there's a big gap that's changed drastically as well too. Look at that on the timing table. There's only 2 battles now, where there was a few. I think somebody's just gone off track a little bit there. Get to that information in a second. Yeah,
I think we've had Petter Vedding and Seth MacFarlane into the pit lane. I think their damage was actually damage, because it came back. It's probably for them had actually gone, which is fair enough. It was a fairly hefty impact. Christian Jasper trying to dance his way around the outside of Anthony Zyke, who just invited him through. They're now side by side on this old pit straight run towards Copse Corner. Let's see what Christian Jasper can do. It's going to take commitment to go the long way round. He is going to commit. Zyke gives him the space, of course. They run side by side through Copse Corner. They emerge side by side as well. Samuel Martin now trying to get involved in the background. Is he going to send the move into back into Beckett's? Yes, he is. Could he commit? I don't quite think he is. The Macau driver thinking better of it and stays behind for now. But oh my goodness me, great respect given. Unfortunately, it's opened the gap up. Christian Jasper 1.2 seconds ahead and firmly taking a grasp of that 8th place.
And all these laps it took to build up to that position, and just like that you can drop a couple if you do make a little bit of a mistake. But now Samuel's like, nah, all right, come on, let's stop messing around. It's done. I've been sitting back here for far too long watching you two guys go at it tooth and nail, and there you have it. Now I'm going to steal one place there, and next up my hit list, of course, is the triple full machine. So there it is. I guess patience does pay off, but you've got 18 minutes left of patience. That's the time. The only problem is, isn't it? You can't be. It's not playing. It's not like watching, or shall we say, engaging in a test cricket game where it goes on for days. This is a motor race where you only have 45 minutes and down to 18 in change to go. A pit stop still required. Carson Keane in the lead. Do that, cutting the track, but you're allowed to do that here for some crazy reason. I don't think that should be allowed, but then again, I don't the one that makes the rules. There's Brian still hanging in there, and good on Daniel. Daniel's family out there should be supporting Daniel. He's all alone at the moment on the track there, so he might need a bit of a hug there. If any of the Whitfield family want to, as soon as he gets in the pit road there, come out there and give him a nice hug. I feel all lonely there, Daniel. Come on. And then James, who was catching the back of him. So I wonder if James made a mistake there. So, because he was creeping within about a second or so. He's dropped 2. So we'll see. And then Alex, of course, on a rampage, trying to charge back the 222 machine to the front where he had dominated in the qualifying and the practice.
Yeah, I think one more safety car and he could be in contention for a podium. Even then, I think maybe even now he might be able to. Brian Long still running really nice pace. Was at for a good chunk of time running sub 1 minute 38. Carson Keane sets the quickest lap of the race, a 37.4, so mightily quick. Unfortunately for Brian Long, it's a bit of a wish-wash sort of stage of this race for him. I mean, his pace is good. It's not quite good enough to match Keane. So you might be thinking, well, just use some of your extra power. I'll come back to that point in just a second. Dalton Hall, unfortunately, has had some form of an issue into Vale. Doesn't take a lot of speed through over the social curb, but bottoms out and around he went. But obviously for Brian Long, it might just be a case of press the button and dump loads of your push to pass to catch back up. Okay, but then what? He stopped using his push to pass, and then Carson Keane presses his button and then drives back off into the distance because of that 100-second cooldown. So for Brian Long, it is a tough decision and a tough time to have. He just needs to either settle in and solidify second, which, to be fair, isn't a bad result. Probably the best he might be able to get from this race. And stay ahead of Dan Whitfield, who is putting in some good laps himself. Now on the edge of a 1 minute 37, a 38.0 was his best and last lap for Whitfield. So the pace definitely is there. It's just a little bit spread out for now. What could use another caution in order to bunch this pack back up again, but that's unlikely. Yeah. You can see the Porsche showroom just in the background, looking lovely as always, and we have some lovely Super Formula machines out on circuit. Alex Rivera, though, all over the back of Ridgeway, who is not a driver that's going to allow him through easily.
And this is going to be fantastic brewing up at the moment. If you're going to pass the very grandstand to the right here, give us a wave up there. You're going to see Zachary and myself in the commentary box. See, you can't even see it, but we're up on the top right hand of the building there, looking out there. Welcome everybody out there in there. Susan's out there saying hello, guys. Hello, Susan. Well, Daniel is doing great. He's in P3. He's a little bit up the road, but the battle behind Daniel is brewing here, and you've got Robert Ridgway, and that is a lapped car, isn't it, up the road there as well too. No, actually, it is Mr. Cunningham, actually, James Cunningham Jr. So this is a three-way fight for P4. They're starting to draw in James. We know James has got some serious pace of late. So perhaps what it is, you said, maybe the push to pass using a little bit too much. I'm not seeing at the moment Alex using anything on his steering wheel. You can look down on his steering wheel as we do have Dalton Hall going pit lane after that damage that he probably sustained with the floorboards. And no, he was not running over any potholes, manhole covers, they call them in Las Vegas. No, that was not here. None of that in Silverstone.
Just to clarify, the potholes and manhole covers are two very separate things.
Oh yeah, so it's a drain cover actually more than anything. Sorry, I lived in Las Vegas. Told you about that. They just put these little tankers in there and they suck up all the stuff that's in the you call it the underflow, not the sewage systems, the water sewage systems in Las Vegas. We don't get a lot of rain, of course, in Las Vegas, but we won't talk about that all day. That's enough. All right, it's all over the memes. Let's go racing here.
Fair enough. Yeah. The Silverstone GP is a much better venue, not only for racing, but for spectating and just everything else. Price-wise, yeah, I think Silverstone's like the fourth most expensive GP to go to.
But you can go camping here. Good luck. And you can walk around the whole track, can't you? You can't do that in Las Vegas. Good luck.
I can't even see the whole track in Las Vegas. But that's another topic. And, well, yeah, it's fine. It's one of those circuits that focus more on spectacle than racing, like Le Mans. And to be fair, Le Mans had a couple of gems, but just as a circuit,
Zachary's throwing out all the cards here this evening, isn't he?
I don't like the circuit de la Sarthe.
Die and he's calling craps for some of these tracks. Anyway, let's go racing. We have a three-way battle here for P4. And a little battle between Samuel Martha and Andy for back in Pacific. I think Mar might have the advantage that we don't know about your overtaking opportunity. A little bit different racing line through there. Alex is so much sharper, isn't he, through Beckers and Chapel? just sticking to the racing line like, glued to it. So.
Whole purpose of these machines effectively is effectively just to glue themselves to the circuit. That is exactly what they're trying to do, using all of their downforce. And Model-E's Kiko, I've been at a Silverstone GP. It's so big. I lost a kilogram just walking around. Fair enough. Yeah, it's a long circuit and big venue. Even at club level at Snetterton, you get around. I remember walking. Thankfully, I had my car, so I was able to drive to the different viewing areas. But me and Dareth Thacker, who is obviously another commentator on JPBroadcasting.
You drove?
Yeah, I drove around the track. So I thought, why not? Well, obviously, there are different areas. There's like the infield sector, and then there's the one outside, and then there's another bit on the outside. And obviously, within the individual sectors, we walk around. But if we wanted to get from one side of the track to the other, I was like, get in the car, we'll find another parking spot on the other side. There is Alex Rivera looking to go to the inside of Ridgeway, who is going to fight it the long way around. Beautifully done, the 222 on the left-hand side. It's the long way around through Luffield. Let's see how hard Ridgeway is going to fight it. They're going to push each other to the absolute limit of grip. Rivera sails his way to the outside, but it's the shorter run for Ridgeway, and it's going to be the inside run by the time they get to Copse. I think they both might just be teetering on the edge of the button. That push to pass, the extra power, and it's Ridgeway that leads them going into Copse. Rivera tucks back into situ, but do not count him out for a counter-attack soon.
No, he's hungry. He's hungry for that. He's got to make it all back up after a little race start. That's all it was. You saw it, the replay. Just a little bogged down. Just couldn't engage the clutch in time or use too much of the loud pedal. And that's all it took to lose all this time and all this position. I mean, lucky. He's very lucky, of course, that we had the opportunity there for a pace car and safety car to bring it back into play. So he's got to get this done soon because Daniel is on the back at the moment of Brian. Dan, the man, has caught the back of Brian, and look at that in the background. Some of the other drivers are starting to creep in as well, too, as we're getting down to 10 minutes of change on this one. Now, can Brian hold on? How long can Brian hold on for? There we go. Once again, I'm stealing that one from you, Zach, but let's go. Daniel has the crowd, the grandstand's full. I might even have to call it the Daniel grandstand, isn't it, at this point? Because he has every single fan and family member in here trying to support him on. Do you think he can get it? Do you think he can get past Brian? It's a good chance.
It's going to be a hard fought fight. I mean, for Brian Long, points aren't really that important to him. No offense, he's not exactly in the fight for the championship. But a podium's a podium, right? Second and third, there's not really a huge difference in terms of points, which don't really matter to Brian Long anyway. But whether you finish second or third, you still say it's a podium. So I think that's more important for Long. Obviously, Whitfield would like some points. He's fighting with Ridgeway and potentially even Carson Keane in that advanced championship. So he obviously wants those points, but the podium is more of a, oh, that's nice, more than, oh my god, it's a podium. For Brian Long, that is the case. So he might fight it, but I don't think he's going to want to risk the chance of having a podium, because at the end of the day, second or third, it's the same thing to him.
Yeah, but I mean, still, but Brian's got his teammate coming up here. If you look up just the road there it is, and that's Anthony Wilburn. So will Anthony, of course, the teammate being sporting the same livery, will Anthony move out of the way there? Of course, Brian's also the boss man, so there's a certain amount of how much you want to respect there. But is that going to help Daniel here, or is it going to? Carson Keane's going to run away with this one right now. 7 seconds to change. This isn't our fastest lap go. Another walk in the park. Bring on Brands Hatch. He's probably like, I'm in Brands Hatch, am I? Oh, no, wait, I'm still in Silverstone. Yes. But Daniel, well, he wants P2. Now, Brian's going to be happy, buddy. Brian's going to be like, I don't know if you'd say, not to be too, I mean, but he's going to be wanting to put up a fight. For sure, absolutely, wouldn't he? Come on, Zach. It's got to. You don't want to yield P2.
It's risk assessment. Second or third is the same thing to him. Dan Whitfield is going to go to the inside, and it's not a hard-fought battle for Brian Long. He wants the novelty of a podium. He doesn't care about points. He doesn't care about finishing in second or third, because they're the same thing to him at the end of the day. And also, it's damage limitation in terms of time loss. James Cunningham, Robert Ridgeway are there fighting with him. And if Long can settle into a DRS train with Dan Whitfield, not DRS, the slipstream chain, with Dan Whitfield, then he's going to be able to better defend that chance of a podium position ahead of James Cunningham and Robert Ridgeway. It is a perfect strategy for Long. It's very clever racecraft, because he wants a podium. He doesn't want points. He just needs that top 3 place. And as it stands, he's on course to get it.
You might be in trouble, but I mean, because look at this. Look what's on your pictures at the moment. You are seeing every single car almost, apart from one of the back markers. You're seeing Robert Ridgway putting massive pressure currently at the moment on Mr. Cunningham. And is that job done? Is it job done there, Zachary? Not quite yet.
Outside line. It might well be. James Cunningham is through. And into 4th place. But for how much longer? Because Robert Ridgway is going to be immediately on a counter-attack.
Yeah, I'm really got Alex Rivera lurking in the background as well too. One driver you do not want. So is actually buying Brian Long a little bit of time here. Look, there's Brian just on the picture here. You have a back marker right up there. That's the teammate there of Brian. So that's going to allow him a little bit of breathing space for sure. That's James. Oh, look at that. He slowed down big time, the teammate. That almost caught him completely off guard. That was Wilburn, wasn't it? That was a scary, scary Code Brown moment for sure. And anyway, I think Brian's got it covered now, hasn't he? I mean, we got about 6 minutes to go. They have a big, big push right now if Brian wants to lose that podium position. But as I think you said, you might have called it. Might have been a smart play there.
Yeah. It was a more intelligent play. And Brian Long is going to be loving what he's looking at, as Modelist Kiko says in the YouTube chat. And the fights behind have allowed him to breathe just ever so slightly. Dan Whitfield is driven up the road to secure 2nd place. But Brian Long has now got 1.5 seconds, and this fight is going to continue. Ridgway on Cunningham, left-hand side, outside for Stowe. He's later on the brakes. He sails his way through. He's got that momentum, and Cunningham's not got an answer for it into Vale. Is Ridgway going to defend? He is, half-heartedly to the middle of the track, and you can see Cunningham trying to find a cunning way through, but not quite close enough on this occasion. He's going to have to wait for another go, potentially into Brooklands.
We'll go on board with Alex, actually, to watch it from his perspective, to get an idea of the 222 machine up the road there. Because we know, I think, Alex, and every time we've kind of seen any mistakes from drivers up the road there, you get an idea of how Alex is approaching the racing line differently. Look at that. They both replacing it. And that is, look at that. It's a loud switcheroo. Alex is going to have so much more exit speed, but then he gets on the power and the rear end slips. He's got James up the road. James is struggling big time here. Alex is going to get on it. Get it. Will he slip out and try and send a dive on the inside? You better believe he will. Or does he back off there, Zach? I don't know. You know, so all of a sudden, like back of your hand. Now he's going to have to switch around the outside. Great battling here in the dying stages of this race. 5 minutes and change to go left of this there, Zachary, for our round 5.
Not long left into the dying stages. Probably about 3 laps if we're lucky at the end of this 45-minute dash that we've got. We've got Ridgway, Cunningham, Rivera in a 3-way fight for 4th. Rivera trying his best to bite back at the battling that has been going on, and that first initial mistake, his pace has been incredible. His best lap time of 37.4, which is only a couple of tenths off what Carson Keane has been able to maintain, and arguably if Rivera was in touch for a race win, he might have been able to pull that out the bag and push himself to that extra margin in order to compete. But Rivera, it's been a hard-fought battle, and we've got 3 cars that have the potential for a podium. It all depends. Do they fight for 4th, or do they work together and go for 3rd?
I don't know. I mean, I would be fighting for every position I can, as these two are as well. So does Samuel Mark get... Oh! Andy's just had a little bit of a snap, and that's going to drop him down. He's got plenty of time, but, I mean, Andy Cody at the moment. There's 2 Andys. Andy's got far down the road there, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But back here, you'll be worrying about this one. Dying stages of this one. Oh, you said it. I mean, you're fighting for every tooth and nail. I fight for every position. F-gap car, at center style. And these 2 gentlemen are definitely at it tooth and nail here in Silverstone.
They're not giving an inch. Let's put it that way. That's wide from Cunningham. And Rivera is going to look at that vulnerability and try and capitalise on it. He ran wide through left field as Rivera tried to get the up and under and get that drive. Is there a gap into Copse? He's not close enough, but I mean, Cunningham is going to go defensive anyway. There goes Rivera to the left-hand side of the circuit. Is he going to give it a go? He thought about it. You definitely could tell. But in the end, is having to stay behind. We've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds left of this round 5 race, and Rivera, look at the speed that he's able to carry, the commitment that he carries, but it's all about the exit. And initially it was Cunningham that was able to get it. He's able to grow out a couple of car lengths, and there could be Rivera maybe thinking about pushing the button. I think he is still in his cool down phase, so might have to wait maybe half a lap or so until that can come back on. Quarter of a second. Cunningham thinking about defending, but he is looking in his mirrors, and all this is doing is allowing Ridgway to get away.
Yeah, Ridgway to get away, exactly. We've seen those fights before. That's exactly what happened behind Daniel and Brian. So as soon as Daniel cleared Brian, it was a relatively easy overtake, I'd have to say there. And then that's it. So Brian was happy to see that fight behind him, which is this fight that's brewing. So he's okay, he's comfortable. Although Ridgway is starting to bring it back in there. I'm not quite sure there's enough time at the end of the day, isn't it? Considering more than anything that, well, it's 2 battles brewing, but more, I think, James Cunningham, if anything, for the US Air Force representative, there we go, US Air Force driver at that one, he's going to be more worried about keeping Rivera at bay here.
He's thinking, yeah, just how can he hang on to that top 5, looking in his mirrors and trying to decide which is the best course of action to take. You can see defending and weaving, breaking the slipstream. That is so important around a circuit as fast-paced as Silverstone is. Maybe a bit of wash of dirty air through the high downforce stuff, but it's not phased Rivera whatsoever. He's going to be practically pushing Cunningham through the very infamous Maggots and Beckett section of the circuit. How close they run, how much trust they have in each other. Let's see what the situation is going to be by the time they reach Stowe.
He's got to give it everything, I think, isn't it? He's going to give it everything, but a good defensive driving at the inside there. So James is going to hold off the line there. He realizes that he's under massive attack because he's been in the military. He knows how to handle situations, but he's got to turn in the moment. There may be contact there, Zach. Lift off a little bit there from Alex. May have saved his front wing from potential disaster, or saved both drivers from potential disaster. They have a 16-second gap there down the road, but 16 seconds, if you're in the fence, it might not be enough to get you in these positions. But great racing in the dying stages of this race. Carson Keane still doesn't know what's going on behind him, doesn't need to know what's going on behind him because, hey, they are way down the road from you. Oh, it's a spin. Who was that? Is that Brian? No! Brian's gone off the track! Brian has gone off the track!
Oh, it was long-lived.
Zachary has not cursed this one, but Brian's gone off the track. Unfortunately, we might have to go back and have a look at that one in a second, but because where is Carson Keane? What?
This will be the last lap, won't it?
Just gone on. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get this track map to work. It is completely broken. So, where is he, Zachary? You know this track better than I do.
Final sector. This is the hangar straight.
Oh, there we go.
And oh, that is We've done 24 laps. This is the 25th lap, and he was in the podium
Alex is going to be
for 24 and a half of them. And Rivera wants that extra place. He wants that 4th. Ridgway inherits the podium, but Carson Keane will see him across the line. The Canadian, he's won a lot of races. He won round 1, round 2, 3rd place at round 3, and it's now going to be his 4th win of the season in 5 rounds. Carson Keane takes it, and Rivera is into 4th.
And Daniel, of course, going around the corner. Daniel will get that P2. Good on you, Dan, the man. He'll get it. Robert will get the P3. And it looks like, to me, Alex is going to steal that one away there from James in the dying stages. We'll get the replay of that, of course, in a second. We don't even want to know what's happened to Brian. And then in the Christian, Jasper and Samuel, that's panned out there. So Christian's got that battle done there. Anthony Zyke, Andy Yeager in the battle of the Andys. So Andy Yeager and Andy Cody. Seth MacFarlane, of course, didn't have the best days of best days, losing a front wing and stuff like that. And good on Peter for hanging in there. And then 2 retirements from this race. But Carson Keane once again proved that he is best in the business. Let's have a look at the replay real quickly. And of Ryan Long before we get to those race results for you. Now, do you want to look at this one? Now, be careful. Choice of words there, please, Zachary. Choice of words.
I'm nice. Brian Long. Into turn 3.
He's got
Is it the curb? No, he's fine. Yeah. He's fine. And too much speed, too much power on the exit. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking.
That's 1, 2 places passing you like that.
Shayla Whitfield obviously saying lucky livery for Dan Whitfield in finishing second. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not a bad thing for him. It's definitely not a bad thing for you, Shayla, as well. So there he is, obviously in that very Pink Panther, very striking livery. And Carson Keane takes the victory ahead of Dan Whitfield and Robert Ridgway, the top 3 ahead of Rivera and Jasper, the top 5. Samuel Meyer and Anthony Zyke, 6th and 7, with Andy Yeager, James Cunningham, and then Brian Long in 10th place. But moving on, we've got Andy Cody in P11, Seth MacFarlane just ahead with Petter Vedding, Dalton Hall, and Anthony Wilburn, who is going to be taking some huge steps backwards in that championship fight. Of course, they do get a drop round.
How come Brian Long got 10th place?
You must have returned to pit lane and lost the lap, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm showing it was about P6 or something. He wouldn't have lost that many places. We'll find out, of course, but that is very interesting.
Anyway, let's get moving on. We've got some interviews to
all on you.
Fire our race. No, it's absolutely not. We're gonna drag in Robert Ridgway first and foremost for the interview. Robert, well done. Firstly, podium place right at the end, thanks to Brian Long's issues, and you drove phenomenally all race long. So, good points in the bag.
Yeah, that was a crazy race. That was exhausting from start to finish. Before the flag, after the flag, I was like fighting for my life the whole time.
And why is that? Is there any particular reason, or is it just chaotic out here?
I was just good racing, man. Instead of sometimes you're alone somewhere, but this one I was always in a fight, and I was like, I don't know if I was gonna get to the podium or not. I forgot how far back, how low I got, but yeah, then Brian, I hit him with some Jedi mind tricks. It's like, this is not the corner you're looking for, Brian, and then almost got around him. So that was a good podium. I like that one.
Nice stuff, yeah. I mean, just from start to finish, it was a fantastic race. Here in Silverstone, of course, we round things off. In a week's time, we'll go to Road America. How you feeling? Maybe you can secure yourself a decent place in the championship.
We got to get a win every week. We're gonna get a win for sure.
Awesome. Wow, that's the way to go. Fair play to you, Robert Ridgway. Well done for your P3, and take care. We'll see you back in a week's time. Of course, before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give to the YouTube chat?
Oh, shout out everybody. Shout out y'all. Shout out the fam. Shout out the league. Y'all have a good one. Deuces.
Awesome. Take care, Robert. Thank you for joining us. And very well done for you here today. Robert Ridgway taking P3. We've got a couple more people jumping in to have a chat with us. First and foremost, second on the list, I suppose, we'll take a chat with James Cunningham, who managed to get P9 at the end. It was a very hard-fought battle amongst you guys in that midfield fight, I think for 4th place in the end. Unfortunately, came out a little bit short, but all in all, a very chaotic race from start to finish.
Yeah, that was tons of fun. I love a nice wide circuit like that encourages a lot of close racing. I tried to give Daniel everything I could, but he definitely had the pace this race. He was on the attack the whole race. So once I kind of made a small mistake trying to push too hard, I knew I had to start looking behind me with Robert and everyone else coming. So it was head down for most of the race, and Robert, of course, is super tough to keep behind. He's well experienced, well versed. I struggle a bit in the dirty air, whereas he seems to have no problems. He was on me the whole time. So I knew eventually I defended as hard as I could. It was really good fought, but he got around me, and then unfortunately on the second to last lap, apparently I went off track. So that brought me right at a perfect 9 incident points, costing me a drive-through. So I decided to finish the race just because I would rather have it looked at, afterwards than take it and finish, last. But it was a good last few laps with Alex as well. He had the pace. It was unfortunate he spun out there at the beginning.
Yeah, it really did open up the race a lot. It opened up a different narrative. Him fighting his way through with the caution as well, bunching everyone up right at the beginning was a fantastic race to watch. Going forward, though, in a week's time, we'll head to Road America, which in a lot of aspects can be seen fairly similar to Silverstone. Very high focus on straight line speed, and should be some fun racing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I got to take a sneak peek of it earlier this week, and it's going to be tons of fun. The straight line speed will cause a lot of defending down in that first half. First half
English?
of the lap. I'm still on edge after that race today, I guess. But yeah, the Road America is going to be tons of fun.
Should be indeed. Thank you for joining us, James. Before we let you go, is there any shout-outs you want to give to the YouTube chat?
Oh, thanks for everyone watching. Thanks for you guys, and what you do. I love watching these back. You guys are really good at what you do. And shout out to Brian. He's still managed. It was unfortunate the last lap, but he's got big things planning. And to see all the work he's putting in behind the scenes and still managing good results in the races definitely humbles me a lot.
Yeah, he is a fantastic man. Thank you very much for joining us, James. We'll see you back in a week's time when we take to Road America.
Yes, sir. I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.
And you, thank you very much, James Cunningham, for the quick chat. Next up, though, let's have a chat with Christian Jasper. There we go. All sorted. we got it right today. No. We've been good today. We got it right 100% of the time. We're on top form. Don't you worry. 5th place though for you. Not bad. Top 5. Decent.
Wait, 5th place?
Yeah. Because
Brian
had issues, didn't he?
Don't talk about what Brian did, but you got P5, so.
Holy cow. Okay. I thought I had like 6th or 7th. That's even better than I thought. Yeah, that was intense. It was first time at this track.
It's actually a little confusing.
I was having fun.
Sorry about that one, because it is showing P7 as I'm looking at that one. But anyway, we'll sort it out later anyway. But go ahead. Sorry.
We'll figure it out. Unofficial results. We'll go with it. Yeah, it was fun. I was having some fun practice on it because this is the first time I've actually raced on this track proper. It felt kind of wishy-washy just by myself, but once I started getting into some scraps, I was like, okay, I see why this track is really, really good. I see why it's good, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Silverstone. Can't not be a fan. It's great. No bias, of course. We take a trip back across the Atlantic, though. We get to go back home for you. Road America next week. How are you feeling?
I am feeling really good about that. Road America, maybe not as good as Detroit, but Road America is one that I had to put in a lot of work to really get right. And when the Super Formula first dropped, that was Mount Panorama and Road America were the first places that I took this car to. And it is almost illegal how much fun this car is at that track. I'm really excited to see what this grid can do, because I think it'll be a lot of great fun and a lot of close racing.
Oh, Road America is amazing. I do thoroughly enjoy every visit that we take. The Super Formula should be a lot of fun. Christian, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary booth. Before we let you go, are there any shout-outs you want to give?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you to you guys for always putting on a great show. I honestly can't wait to watch how the rest of the field did on the broadcast. Huge thank you to Infamous Luck for letting me run their colors, Sunset Arctic, and thank you to Brian for putting on the series. I'm having a blast.
We are too. It's just awesome. And especially here today proves how good the racing can be. Christian, thank you very much. We'll see you back in a week's time.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Christian Jasper. We don't really know where he finished. I think he finished on track in 7th, but with penalties and Brian Long and all that, it got a bit confusing. Maybe he did finally finish 5th place. Anyway, let's have a quick chat with let's go with Dan Whitfield, the man that finished 2nd place, fielding a new livery, of course. Some good luck, I think, from Shayla today.
We know better than to believe in superstitions.
She blessed it with the pink.
Definitely. What a race, man! I didn't feel comfortable at all during the whole race. I just felt like I was going to spin out, and then I had James behind me, and it was tough, man. But I knew the second half of my stint was always stronger in practice. So the first half I just tried to look after my tires, because I knew that with a lighter car I was a lot faster. I really struggled with a heavier car, so I knew if I just tried to keep my tires in as good shape as possible, then the race would come back to me towards the end. And thankfully it did, because Brian was rapid today.
Yeah, it's a shame what happened right at the end, but we won't dwell on it too much. We'll rip into him when he's in here, don't you worry. But just in general, a fantastic result from you, and continuing your very consistent form of good results. Of course, are you going to be able to continue it next week when we head to Road America?
Oh, definitely. Like I said last time I was in here, like me and this car have just clicked. I've still got a distance to go to catch up to Carson and the other guys that are regularly fighting at the front. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Like much better than with the F3. This season's going much better than last season did.
Seems it. And well, very well done to you. Seems the consistency and the pace, just all in all, are really coming together. Thank you very much for joining us. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just once again to my family. I know they watch every week, so I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching every week and putting up with this. But it's great to have their support. And cheers, guys, and thanks to Brian and to everyone in the league. It's a great season this season. It's fantastic. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
We are as well. It's been absolutely mega, and you got your cheerleaders all at home cheering you on. Yeah. So, Dan, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you back in a week's time.
Cheers, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dan Whitfield, taking second place over the course of this evening of racing. Next up, we'll go to Carson Keane. We'll leave Brian to the end. We'll leave you on that tightrope of anticipation, but we've got Carson Keane, who is winning a lot of races this season. Let's put it that way. It's another one. DJ Khaled style, and he's now just taking it up. Do you want to slow down, mate?
No, not really. I'm enjoying it here. I really enjoy this car, and I really enjoy Silverstone, obviously, and had a lot of fun today. Brian was putting the pressure on the first few laps, and then safety car brought him right back into it. So I was feeling the pressure a little bit there at the beginning, and then managed to get the tires under it, and it was. Just enjoyed.
Nicely done. Yeah, it was a awesome display from start to finish. Just sheer consistency and pace all the way through. Not really much that we can comment on because we didn't see you all too much. You didn't do much. Just got a good start and led from that point on, really.
Yeah, I knew, or I anticipated that being in dirty air around some of the fast corners, like cops and stuff like that, would have been really difficult to follow. So, like I said, just a little bit patience at the beginning. Avoid the off tracks because they're pretty challenging around Silverstone, and just keep it pointing in the right direction.
Going forward, obviously into next race in a week's time, we'll go to Road America. Are you gonna get win number 5?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually had a chance to do any of the officials. I think the SF is there this past week here, and I didn't even get a chance to take a crack at it. So I'm sure some of the other guys did, and we'll see how it goes. But looking forward to it.
Very much so. Well, Carson, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give to the YouTube chat?
I'll thank everybody for watching. Thank you guys for hosting. Thank Brian for organizing it, and thank the group as always. I think we had a pretty clean race for the most part. So I enjoy racing with these guys.
Awesome stuff, Carson. Thank you very much for joining us. Congrats on yet another victory, and we'll see you back in a week's time.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. Carson Keane, first place for this race. We've just had Anthony Wilburn join us in the broadcast waiting room, so we'll drag him in first. We'll get to Brian. I know he's sat there waiting. Anthony.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
Another one. You were hoping to bounce back after Belle Isle, but unfortunately, the bad luck has struck you again. Neither of your faults, just good old netcode.
Well, I was lapping slower than I should have. I get pretty nervous on cold tires, so Seth was doing a good job of in Ridgeway as well, obviously, of catching me. So I knew I was holding them up a little bit. It is a little bit unfortunate how it sort of ended. But I think it was fun for the moment, and I think I said before down below, I feel like me and Seth probably would have raced all the way to the end. So there was probably a lot to have happen there.
Yeah, could have gone a lot better. Couldn't really have gone a lot worse, to be fair, but is what it is. It's a learning curve at the end of the day. Still some good pace. Still, the potential was there. I suppose all eyes are on Road America in a week's time.
Yeah, I'm sort of collecting very mediocre results, and I think that's fine. It definitely is part of the process. I have a really good start, usually get some positions, and then sort of get locked into the nerves. So I gotta work with that a little bit to stay in a race. But it's fun for what it is, and Road America is gonna be a lot of fun too.
Hopefully, it should be. We've had a lot of positive words about Road America, so I'm not even here next week. Yeah. I'm gonna have to miss it. I think we're getting Darren Thacker to step in, so him and Biggles are gonna very much enjoy it. But I will enjoy watching it back afterwards. But well done, of course, for making it as far as you did, I suppose, is the bit of congratulations that I can give you. And best of luck for Road America. Before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give?
I shout out to the normal, Chris, Mary for watching. I will say, really looking forward to Road America. I used to go to Road America a lot to watch IndyCar. I grew up in that area, so it should be fun regardless. But yeah, thanks for pulling me up, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome stuff, Anthony. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Anthony Wilburn. A lot better could have been done. Let's put it that way. Now, the moment that you've all been waiting for. Brian Long. Well, top 10. Well done. End of story,
I have
right?
a bone to pick with you, sir.
Me? Oh,
You cursed me before the green lights even flew. Let's see how long he can keep this under control. Listen here, sir.
Not my problem. You had a skill issue, mate, is it?
It was a skill issue, but this was the best P6 I've ever had, so...
It's a shame. It was... we had a 25 lap race, and you were in P2 for 24 and a half of them.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's one you're just gonna have to.
Should I slow it down and show what happened? All right. Yeah,
nah, let's not do that. He's broken already. Bless him. It's just one you're gonna have to. You just have to bite, take on the chin, and go forward. I mean, the pace was amazing, and you were keeping up with Carson Keane. Like, he didn't disappear, which is a massive compliment to you. So fair play. You know, you did well. We were cheering you on. I didn't sound like it, but we were. Can you replicate it in Road America? Well, not entirely. Just the pace. Can you replicate the pace in Road America?
I think pace, yes. I think for the rest of the season, I'll be fine on pace. It's tracks that I'm really comfortable on, and they're not as technically demanding as the first half of the season was. And part of my my optimism of trying to keep up with Carson is what it's kind of what ruined my race, actually, because not ruined it. I ruined my race, but this car gets really sensitive on the rear tires when they get too much heat into them, which is really easy to do because there's so much torque. So you get on the gas too early, and all of a sudden your rears spin a little. But then also with the dirty air, you have to fight harder to keep it on track. You lose grip, so again you're scrubbing more tire, right, and you're getting more temperature. And so I'd really starting to get the rears really, really hot. And then by the time I got to the last lap, I knew Rob probably had pushed to pass. And I was just like, come on, hang on to a podium. You can do this. Like, you have literally less than a lap to go. Just keep it together. I had one incident point left to spend, or I didn't have one left to spend, and that corner had been just giving me fits the whole race. Once my tires got hot, I was just slipping just a little bit, and it's really what brought Daniel back in the race, was that corner, because I bet a third of the laps I lost just a little bit of rear coming out of there. And then sure enough, I'm just really happy that when I lost control, I didn't hit Rob or cause any damage to anybody. But it was really fun trying to keep up with Carson, and I have... in Publix, I've gotten to race with Carson a little bit. In certain moments, I can keep up with him, but even here, I mean, it was just a 10th or 2/10 every lap. I just could not close it unless I had push to pass, and then so it was, yeah, good race to Carson. That was insane. I did everything I could.
Yeah, I mean, for how long it lasted, fair play. I mean, your qualifying lap was amazing. Obviously, then getting Alex off the line, decent, and then just you held on to it, and it was just small things that added up, and that one corner, had it not been for that, it would have been a podium. So there are a lot of positives to take. I know it's a bittersweet ending, but you managed to have the pace full stop, and you did still have a lot of fun. So Brian, still well done to you. We would prefer to be giving you some proper congratulations for a podium, but it will come. It will come this season. I can guarantee it. Maybe I'm not here next week. Dara's stepping in, so maybe the stigma of the Zach Sweeney curse might be able to lift off, and you might be able to get a podium next week.
I'm gonna have to hold off then. I'm winning for you, Zach. That's the plan. I'm getting on the podium. No more skill jokes.
No more skill jokes. No, they'll still come. They'll still come.
I gotta earn that though. I know I gotta earn that.
That's fair. All right, fair enough. Brian Long, thank you for joining us. Before we let you go, are there any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, thanks to you guys. Thanks to James for running all of JPB. He does insane stuff. Thanks to our steward today for throwing a safety car. That was so much fun. And thank you to all the drivers who show up week in and week out, and even some of the drivers who aren't participating this season but are contributing to the league in other ways. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to the audience. Thank you.
Awesome stuff, Brian. Thank you very much. Take care. We'll see you back in a week's time.
Take care, gentlemen.
Awesome stuff, Brian. Well, fair play to again. I know he's watching this back. He's probably still listening. Brian, You did all right, mate. I am proud of you for as long as it lasted. It was there, and I'll move on because it's we won't live it too much. Biggles,
you're dragging it on too long. Okay.
I know. I'm milking it, but it's good. I'm dragging it on too long, but I'll just
got
stop.
that
Biggles,
finally. All right, come on.
It's fine. It's fine.
It won't take too long before Brian will get himself a race win. You know that for a fact, and that's enough for the long jokes. And so we're only picking on the boss man because he puts this fantastic racing league on, as everybody in the chat has said. All right, Zach, you can wrap it up.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for watching along. It's been an amazing start to the second half of this season. In a week's time, it will be Dareth Thacker and Dean Biggles to talk you through each and every single little bit of action that comes your way when we head to Road America. It should be a ton of fun. Straight line speed, push to pass galore. And, well, I'm sure those two will very much enjoy talking you through. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time when we head over again for round 7, when we head to the Red Bull Ring, which is where this all started. So we go back to the roots of the Sim Racing for Simpletons Championship. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.